Okay, so I got kind of mixed feelings about Awbrey Butte here. You know, part of me really loves it. I think most of me loves it. It's spread out, big lot sizes. You know, it's on the hill, so many of these homes, almost all of them have really great views. And then the trees up here on this hill, you know, give it a really nice forested feel. Then the other side of me just isn't really a huge fan of kind of the 80s and 90s construction. A lot of the homes up here, or some of the homes up here, can be kind of dated if they haven't been recently built or recently, you know, remodeled, and it can feel, you know, a little old sometimes. That's just me. That's a me thing, I suppose, right? Kind of feel the same way about Sun River. I love Sun River, but some of the houses, most of the houses, are kind of dated, you know? Okay, so those are just my opinions, and you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I just kind of tell it like it is, or at least how I see it. But let's go ahead and take a deep dive into Awbrey Butte and find out why it's been one of Bend's most luxurious neighborhoods for the past 40 years. Way back, way back, there was this really great town named Bend. And in the middle of that town stood this really big butte.
I like
big butte.
and I cannot lie.
I love big buttes and I cannot lie. It just never gets old saying that. So then developer and now legendary developer Mike Hollern of Brooks Resources thought to himself, we should put some homes up on that hill. They acquired the 1,800 acres in 1970, and for like 15 years, they worked on how to develop it. They had to battle the city almost every step of the way. Water was a really big problem. They had to figure out how to get water up onto this hill, and they did. I mean, they just master planned it so well. They required that all of the homes be painted in a very neutral color palette to blend in with nature. And then of course they stair-step the homes on the lots with the roadways so that you can't really even see any of the homes below you. They don't want to take anything away from these stunning views. And the views? Smoke show. Hey Google, define smoke show.
Smoke show is a slang term that is used to describe an attractive man or attractive woman.
Yeah, we can keep that. So after getting water and the city's blessing, construction actually began up here in about 1984. The first lots back in those days were $25,000. Anybody got a time machine? Fast forward 20 years later and a few recessions here and there, and Awbrey Butte was complete with 782 home sites built by some of the finest builders of their day. But what's actually even still a little crazy is that even though the neighborhood of Awbrey Butte is done and it's been completed now for quite a while, there are actually still lots that were just sold and held onto, and there is still new construction actually happening on the Butte to this day. Living in Awbrey Butte is like living in a postcard, except the postcard's your backyard. It's sometimes less about the house and more about living in the environment and the surroundings. It's like living in a cozy cabin in the woods, except for you're not really roughing it because you have all of these modern amenities. So let's talk about amenities. Now the biggest amenity is that you're up on a hill and almost every lot has spectacular views. But there are actual amenities like parks, because there are a number of parks up here. We've got Summit Park, Sylvan Park, and Hillside Park. I like the names, they're very appropriate. One's on the hillside, one's on the summit. But just simply walking the hill or simply walking the streets is also such a great activity that so many neighbors here actually partake in on a daily basis. You see, on the east side of the hill, you've got all of these spectacular views of Bend. It's actually the best at night when the city lights are twinkling. It's pretty cool. But then again, on the west side of the Butte, you've got the sweeping Cascade Mountain views. You can basically see every mountain on the Cascade Range. And even the rest of the scenery is also fantastic. We've got tons of wildlife up here, deer, hawks, eagles, lots of rabbits, rock chucks. There's even quail running around here all the time. Again, back with the whole nature thing. it's pretty awesome up here. The HOA here runs around $200 per year, which gets you access to obviously the parks and the tennis courts, pickleball courts, playgrounds, stuff like that. The Architectural Review Committee is also kind of strict on some of their design standards, so it's important to do your own due diligence on some of the rules up here and how they apply. For instance, for the most part, fences are not allowed. Now, I have seen, some kind of small 4-foot fences that are pretty see-through for dogs and pets and stuff like that, but definitely no full 6-foot, full boarded fences around here. That's just not the kind of vibe they're going for here on Awbrey Butte. They're looking for a more natural, scenic, open type feel. And that's exactly what we have. Lots of luxury neighborhoods have come to Bend since the 1980s. But Awbrey Butte still stands as one of Bend's most iconic and most desired luxury neighborhoods. For the record, it's March 23rd when we're shooting this, and there are 6 homes on the market in Awbrey Butte, ranging from 4.5, 3.75, 3.2, 2.6, and 2.39. This is a luxury neighborhood. So why do people love living in Awbrey Butte? The views, the large lots, the parks, the walking trails, and the northwest location. And let's not forget about the sense of community. It's like living in your own small town, except that own town is perched up on a mountain with breathtaking views. So if you're looking for a neighborhood where you can walk everywhere and make new friends, Awbrey Butte is the place for you. And if you happen to move here, there's a pretty good chance you won't want to move anytime soon. And why would you want to move? Because you've got all of this natural beauty right at your doorstep. All right, we gotta go. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's something we haven't done in a while. If you're thinking about moving to the area, we want to know what you want to know about. We've got plenty of video ideas coming up for the spring and summer, but if there's something that you want to know about specifically, drop us a line in the comment section down below, and we will do our best to answer those questions for you. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you are thinking about buying or selling in the area, we would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can reach out to us at krommrealestate.com. We would love to hear from you and, do the whole other thing. Follow our other social media channels as well. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week. And let's not forget about the sense of community.